5, 4. Here we go.
And welcome to Star Wars Shadows of Darkness, Series 2 of our Star Wars adventures here. The adventures of some erstwhile younglings who have, grown up since the days of the Clone Wars and the slaughter that was the Order 66 days. We find ourselves on the planet of Trenta, where our three heroes had been led into the swamp by apparently aliens who tried to feed them, food, but Haish actually saw through it. And was able to actually leapt up and tried to attack the one that was trying to force this onto the group, and whom for some reason was thinking in basic. And as he did, they vanished, leaving them in the darkness of a swamp at night. You know, they hear the sounds of animals all about them. Somewhere in the distance, being in the fact that it's a swamp and sounds are odd there, there's a loud splash of something jumping into the water or falling into the water. It's hard to say exactly, and of course the hiss of things sliding among the leaves and along the boles of these trees surround them. So we first look at Haish, and how is Haish feeling at this moment?
Haish is a bit. I mean, initially he was pretty apprehensive of this place, but now that he's starting to see, his sight is kind of piercing the veil there, he is calming down. We actually see him finding a kind of a dry rock nearby that is large enough to hold him. He'll actually sit down into a meditative sitting posture and try and commune, I suppose. As a player, he's not adept or powerful enough to communicate with the planet proper, but character-wise, he's going to make the attempt there. What he's wearing is basically a diving suit, kind of a black with yellow streaked, kind of a wetsuit. His utility belt over the top of that, and kind of a shoulder cloak mantle about everything, so keeps it out of the water. His lightsaber, the long hilt, the haft of the pole arm that is his lightsaber, is resting on the rock near him, but he's gonna sit there and center himself.
As he sits down on the rock, we pan over to Glalt. What do we see in Glalt's mind, and how's Glalt appearing at this moment?
Glalt is appearing really, really annoyed. Though he appreciates the protection the suit gives him, his head is still open and he is incredibly itchy. He thought he was finally getting off of a jungle planet, and he's on another one. And his hives are back and worse than ever. He's annoyed that the planet's playing tricks on them. He's annoyed that he's sick. And he just wants to get everything over with so that they can get off of Jungle Rock. Because jungle does not go well with fur.
All right, and as we pan across, of course, their companion is also sitting there, though at the moment he's deep in meditation himself. Haish, you said that you're reaching out to the planet through the Force, correct?
He's gonna try and
Okay.
be the Force mystic and try and connect with, basically the heartbeat of the planet.
All right, maybe a sense roll, please, sir.
I'm gonna use a Force point on this one.
Okay, so you'll double your dice.
Okay. reduce my force point there. And what kind of test am I making? Just straight sense.
Straight sense, because you're just reaching out through the force in general.
Seeing who or what possibly reaches back. He's gonna keep an eye out, as well as Luca can keep his eyes out, specifically for their mother's energy signature in the force there.
Okay.
Oh, that's actually quite beautiful here. All right. All right, that's going to be a 42.
Right, you're able to center yourself, and as you reach out, you realize it's almost like reaching through damp, maybe damp moss. It's hard to explain exactly the feeling that you sense as you begin to reach out. It's almost like
There's
you're
a watery membrane there.
like there's a membrane that you're reaching through that leaves almost like an oily film on your mind. It feels like it doesn't feel good. You do get an echo of Yane.
So
you do sense Yane. She is not far. She is in distress. But as far as her mind is strong, her presence is strong. And as your mind begins to sort of probe towards her, you suddenly feel a presence. This presence rises up in front of you in your mind's eye as almost it's a featureless shadow, a black deeper than the deepest black space. Within this blackness are two pinpoints of a yellowish light glowing, almost smoldering, not quite. It's
Do
almost
I see
like
this in kind of like
in your mind's eye. Yes.
Okay.
You see this figure sort of rise up in front of you, and then around you, sort of the swamp generalizes itself as a sense about you, the planet.
Right.
So it's so it seems as if you're actually in a setting, and you see this figure. You sense your mother somewhere beyond it, and this figure, you almost you feel that you've ran into this before. You have the same feeling of presence now as you had when you were communicating with the natives earlier, but it is this
is clearly the puppet master of that encounter,
and you feel a rage that is, I mean, it is beyond anything that you personally have ever felt towards anything. It's not a fast flash of rage that someone would get at something horrible happening to them or being wrong. This is a rage that has long been tended.
Someone or something has been brooding in their negativity for a long time,
a very long time, and has accepted it and become one with it.
Okay, all right. And sitting on that rock, like similar to the scene in the Bespin scene where Luke is reaching out to Leia with his projected telepathy, and he kind of like mutters into space there. What we will see back in our scene, Haysh actually sitting there, maybe slouch ever so slightly, but once this entity comes to him, he'll actually sit up a little bit straighter, and we'll actually hear him say, "Get out of my way." Calmly, directly, not angry, but it's obviously it's commanding, but it is confident. It's a tone that you can't hurt me and you won't move.
The figure looks at you, and you can see it kind of reacts a little bit to the text being spoken to directly, almost as if maybe it's not used to that.
Uh-huh.
And it takes a step towards you, almost like it's studying you. Like, the words it registered the words, but it's
Wait,
almost like it's
understood me. Yeah,
Yeah.
now it's what?
Now-
Wait, I'm being spoken to now. What?
yeah. But it's almost like the words spoken to it are meaningless, as in like it doesn't matter what you said. It's studying you. And then you hear a voice, a very oddly calm and oddly pleasant voice come from it and it says, "You're not Jedi, but you're close."
We will hear in our scene as Haish is piercing the veil here. Stop hiding in the shadows and come and speak to me then.
You come to me.
Where are you?
Well, you should be able to find me easy enough.
Good. I'll be with you soon.
I'm sure you will. Well,
Now get out of my way.
it tilts its head and says, "I'm not in your way. You're in
Excellent.
your way."
At that last comment, Haish we'll actually see if anyone's actually looking at Haish
Mhm.
talking to himself, we'll actually see Haish's lips kind of curl into a the expression that a student gets when something clicks into place. Like if someone, like an elder, gave you the final piece that you needed
Okay.
to solve a problem that you could not grasp.
So what's Haish's emotional state right now?
Calm
Calm? Okay.
and triumphant.
Okay. The figure, as it sort of, you see it sort of move its head a bit. It's hard. It might be sniffing the air. It's hard to say exactly what it's doing because
Yeah,
as I said, it's just basically a shadow. It says, "I smell pride on you." Yes, yes, come to me. You have much to learn.
Stay there then. I'll be with you shortly. And with that, Haish will just stand up and
Okay.
say, he'll stand up. He will wait for the entity. He is assuming if
Mhm.
we've actually made a pact, he'll
Mhm.
actually stand up. If he actually had eyes, his eyes would open. He would look around and survey, and he would just, before he like shuts out that connection, he waits for I suppose the intention of this direction. He's being directed, or kind of a come
You-
hither.
Okay, your mind sort of almost rises up above the planet itself to where you have almost an overview, and you see where you're at. You see yourself and you see your companions, and you're whisked a distance away. Probably it's like about maybe 10-15 kilometers. And as you're going down to where this figure is, it's almost like something else steps in. Suddenly you are plunged into a maelstrom of darkness. It's like you have literally been dropped into the middle of a hurricane. There's screeching winds that you're not sure are they winds or are they like howls of pain or rage, and emotions just begin flying through you, just almost too fast to recognize. I need you to make me control check, sir.
So this thing is trying to possess me. Is that what I'm hearing?
You've ran into something that it's like it's trying. It's almost like it's. Think of it as you're like a television, and this is a person with a remote that's clicking through the channels as fast as it can, and each channel is an emotion.
this thing doesn't want to make up its mind what it wants to think or feel.
Mhm.
It is a 22 on my control.
Okay, you're able to
Case.
push it back away
He'll
from you.
recognize that these emotions are not his.
Right. And you're able to push it back, but you know at that moment, as you basically regain yourself, that if you continue to plunge into this thing, and just as directly mentally, that it's going to be like plunging into a hurricane of emotion that is going to constantly be eroding at your self-control in your mind. But you sort of get a general idea of where this thing is centered at, about 10 kilometers away.
North, south, east, west.
It's like a northeast of you.
It's on the way to I suppose from where my feeling of where Yane was.
Actually, the feeling you have of Yane is more north.
So we could on the map, we could arc our way
You could
that
arc
way.
north and go by and see where she's at, possibly pick her up, and then
That's what I want to
possibly
know.
go there.
It's
Yeah.
on
Yes.
the way.
Yes. As you pull back from this thing and center yourself back, and you'll just once again sort of centering yourself on the life around you. First off, the place is alive. This swamp has life everywhere. But you do pick up some very specific things. You pick up where Yane's at, that she is in some kind of distress. You also pick up between you and her, but she's about 3 kilometers from you right now. About a kilometer away from you and 2 from her is a group of sentients, about 15 of them. And you sense off of them a very predatory feeling. But they're hunters.
I know where we're going.
All right. Is it out of the swamp?
Not yet.
All
Soon.
right.
I will subject you to scratching your piles, my friend, for a little bit longer.
All right. What you need?
A few kilometers north, Yane will be there, but we're going to have company. And the puppet master here, whatever it is, maybe it's a puppet master. I'm calling it a puppet master. Wishes to see me.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, let's not get you killed.
As always, Galalt, I adore your sarcasm.
Sorry, the swamp's making me a bit itchy. I'm grumpy.
So yes, the immediate surroundings around you guys are, as I said, and you find you're on a fairly dry spot here. It would be a good place to build a small village, actually, as you look around. It is very, very dark though. You are underneath a canopy at night, so the only thing that actually is lighting your way is if you have any lumens on you or lights. That's the only light you have. So, and maybe like the lights from any kind of devices you have that have readouts and such on them.
No.
Haish's light is strapped to his left hip, so it faces forward.
Okay.
So he can have both of his hands free.
Okay.
I'm curious, how well do you think Wookiee fur would burn for a very nice, campfire?
If we had Wookiees here, probably very nicely, but it'll reek.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It'll stink worse than you do.
Oh man, not my fault I can't take a shower.
The ship's not big enough for a self-irrigation system. We don't have that.
I know.
Almost literally as if almost it's a bit of an omen. As you say the ship, your comm starts to beep.
Leith, what is it? I just hear the chirp in
Sir,
my ear. Apparently.
Sir, something's going on here. The ship is being moved by an outside force.
Do you see us on the scan?
Yes, sir. I do have you on our scanners. Yes.
Bring the ship here.
Okay. But sir, that's what I'm trying to tell you, sir. The controls are completely frozen up. I can't control the ship.
God, just damn it.
And
Everything
as
li-
he's saying that, you start hearing the sound of interference, and then the signal cuts. And then you get a presence in your mind. Actually, you all do. And this very calm sounding voice says, just some insurance in case you decide to flee.
Huh.
Flee from you. Damn, you're confident.
You wouldn't be the first.
I do not flee from shadows that cling to the trees.
The you just get a very almost like a slightly amused and it goes away.
It's like he's forgotten we've done things before.
We're not milksop children anymore. Yes, this guy, and I pick a direction. I just start walking.
Okay.
And Hayes just said, yes, the galaxy is a vast and horrible, nightmarish place, but we are not children.
I'll follow Haitian, get my staff ready just in case something needs its head whacked.
Okay. You as you move away from the small little clearing you're in, the ground very quickly starts to slope downward. Are you heading generally in the direction that you sent your mother, or Yane?
We're going in a straight line if need be, or if we can.
It takes you probably 100 meters or so as you're sloping down. The underbrush begins to get a bit more dense, to where you're having to push through it, or in some cases actually cut through it. And eventually you come once again to the ubiquitous bodies of water. You actually come to it's a bit wider than you've seen before. It's almost more like a pond, or possibly even a very
lakelet,
almost like a lakelet, or possibly a very broad, maybe even a river. It's hard to say exactly. The water doesn't seem to be flowing very fast. It's very, very still. The water seems almost to shimmer, almost as maybe it has like a layer of something floating atop of it, like a film of oily slick. Possibly, it's hard to say exactly.
I don't like it.
As a matter of fact, where you're at, and as the warmth of the sun has gone away of this system, the humidity has actually sort of fallen towards the surface to the point where the air is very hot, very humid and thick. And of course, there's a pervasive stench of decay and death. Every step brings up new scents that you have not experienced before, and probably never want to experience again.
All right, hang on.
Okay. I believe our third will be entering soon. He's probably having a bit of computer problems.
So what dice am I supposed to roll again?
You're all rolling d6s.
Making sure.
The number of dice you roll are determined by your stat or your skill that you're using. And then you always roll one additional wild die.
All right.
That specific die, if you roll it doesn't, that one explodes. You roll a 6.
I'll be right back. I'm going to see if I have any dice.
Okay.
Of course, we're having network problems.
It happens. Hopefully we'll get him worked out. So she's going to see if she has any dice in her living room real quick while you were doing that. We will resume momentarily, folks.
Right.
But until then, there's some very interesting things on the internet about Star Wars, old Star Wars stuff. There's a really good interview about with the um, with members of the band from the Mos Eisley Cantina concerning the fact that, here I am on this backwater planet, playing in this sort of in this crap hole, barely getting enough to be able to pay for my lodgings in our ship berths, and in walks this crazy old man with a young kid. They go up to they belly up to the bar, and I'm thinking, okay, this is just another one of the places here, these locals here. But I mean, there's not any locals in this bar. This is all spacers and stuff. So what's some local farmer kid and his grandpa doing there? So kid goes up to the bar. Grandpa starts to talk to a couple of people.
Guess what I have?
Dice.
And from my BattleTech bag.
Oh, there you go. And as the
I forgot to close it. Boo, do not chew on that.
As the kid bellies up to the bar and apparently asks for a glass of milk, I guess. I don't know. Because that's what moisture farmers drink, right? A couple of the local toughs decide they're going to give this kid a little bit of a hard time. And one of them basically, says a few things to him in a language he knows for a fact the kid's not going to speak. The other guy says, my friend says he doesn't like you. I don't like you either. And then he says something about being wanted in 5 systems. He just giving the kid shit. But what does Grandpa do? Grandpa whips out an honest to God laser sword, lops dude's arm off just for giving his kid a hard time. And I'm expecting like the Imperial troops to show up any second. But you know what happens? Everybody just goes back to what they were doing before. I guess Grandpa's known around here. We just kept playing away. So
don't ever mess with Wizard Ben. He'll get you.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Get you.
I have the
you have the that is a really cool little shaker that so to continue the explanation of the place back into GM mode.
Right.
The air is very hot and humid. As I said, the smell of death and decay just with every step rises. It gets into your nostrils and just almost feels like it almost slithers down your throat. And though you're getting oxygen from it, it's almost like this cloying feeling sticks to the inside of your lungs and coats them.
Ew.
Makes you really, really, really uncomfortable. There's no telling what kind of diseases might be floating around in this kind of a horrible marsh and swamp and such. And as you come to the edge of the water, you don't get what you would normally like. Even on where you were before, you would come to large bodies of water. And you would get a little bit of a relief because water generally stays a little bit cooler than the atmosphere above it. Not here. You have the sense that water is just as warm as the air above it, as if this water has been like this for quite a long time. And
it's probably warm, like it's taking a warm shower or a warm bath, and it's dirty.
Oh God!
Both the sense and also the fact that you guys had a tracker that was tracking a beacon to the ship that your mother had been on, are both across this body of water.
I just start fucking walking. Case is very done with this place, and he doesn't care. He just starts walking.
Right.
Or he starts slurping. Is really glop, help! I'm sinking.
I was about to say, as you step into the water, I need you to make me a strength check, sir, because your feet will sink into the bottom.
Galt's following him too.
Slurp with a 9.
Okay. Galt, make me a strength roll,
check.
please. Yes.
All right.
I'd like to make a martial arts test to fight the lake, please.
11.
Okay. You guys are able to struggle. The water is not very deep. It probably comes up to about waist high on Haish and maybe like mid thigh on Glalt.
Well, that doesn't count like the 4 foot of silt underneath it.
Yeah. And so the water itself,
it's 25 foot deep water plus silt.
Yeah, the water itself is probably maybe a foot deep, but yeah, your legs, you sink almost to your knees in the bottom as you're fighting your way across. It is not an easy thing to do. As you're moving through, the water itself just feels It is definitely warm. You can feel that through
Mhm.
the through your suits even. Go ahead and make me sense checks, please.
Oh.
Uh,
You want to announce first, or do I?
I got a 17.
Oh, at least one of us succeeded. I got a 3.
Oh shit!
That's okay. That's all of your. How many sense dice do you have?
3.
Ah, okay. Wow.
You rolled 3 ones.
Yes.
How
That
dang!
happens. Oh, don't forget your wild die.
5.
Okay.
Oh,
So that's not a complete failure. So with that, you okay. Haish notices first. Glalt apparently is focused on putting one foot in front of the other at this point.
well.
But something just draws Haish's eyes to the side, and you see a track within the water as if something is moving beneath it. Maybe possibly some kind of a predator under the water, but at the depth that you're at, it can't be anything too big. As I said, you're in about a foot of water, and then you hit the mud. So whatever this is can't be that big.
It's going to be really hard for me to metagame here because a 2.5 foot long crocodile can take your arm off. That doesn't matter, and that's a baby crocodile.
Right. Yes.
That's not that big is like a 3-pound bass. Haish just like if with his senses, he'll just snarl at it like.
Okay. So are you going to do try to use one of your skills to try to scare it off? Are you going to what skill would you want to use to run it off?
Yeah, because I kind of want to. Well, Haish does have injure kill, so he could smack it.
Okay. Well,
yeah, but he also has force push, which would just move the water around.
Okay.
Oh, telekinesis. Here, I'm gonna pick it up.
Okay.
I am absolutely just gonna pick it up.
You have a sense of where it's at, but you can't really sense exactly where it's at enough to get a grip on it with telekinesis. I will tell you that.
Well, if it feels something trying to grab at it, instinctively as an animal, it's gonna go, oh god, and leave.
Okay, that's possible. Yeah,
that is
okay.
Lizard brain biology.
Well, make your roll, my friend. Special arm.
It's telekinesis is alter, correct?
Believe so. Yes.
We all gaming?
Yes, we are.
Who is Avatar impending?
That is
our friend coming in.
That's Mike. That is a 17 from my telekinesis.
All right, you're able. You reach into the water and you grab a mass of water and mud and lift it up. First thing you notice is that things are crawling out of the mud, like not very big things, but creepy crawly things that don't look like you really want to touch.
It's not my hand.
No,
it's
but
the Force's hand.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying it's the idea of this stuff is in the mud that you're walking through.
Right.
So you but you do sort of sense that this whatever this thing was, it actually lunges towards the grabs of mud, and you see a maw come out of the water.
Oh.
Of some kind of lizard-like thing, and actually snatch up this,
a smaller
head-sized bundle of mud that you've picked up, and you actually feel it to the Force slam into this your Force projection, if you will, the telekinesis, as it snaps down and disappears under the water with a splash.
We keep moving. Honestly,
Okay.
it's clearly has
Okay.
what it wants.
All right. So at this point, yes, make me some more strength checks, if you will, guys.
No problem.
Okay.
Says the super buff whippet.
Actually, I am not that buff. I am perceptive and I am in control. I should have buff.
That
Comparatively.
is. That's a 14.
Okay.
Hayes only has 2 die in strength.
That's a 4.
Yeah,
A total of 4.
you're just very sickly. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. In that case, hey, Glalt is going to get stuck.
Oh, Glow, come here.
Hey, hey, can you pull me out of the mud, man? I think I'm stuck.
Slurp.
So
Insert
make an-
disgusting swamp sound here.
mhm. You're going to make another strength test to pull haste or try to pull Glalt out.
That is 16 on my strength. I'm gonna
Okay.
try.
Okay.
Pulling
You're
a
able to.
stump out of the water.
Yeah. And
Because he's
it's,
bigger than me.
it takes you a couple of tugs to finally get Glalt unstuck. And the boot finally, the suction finally lets go under the water there. And Galt is able to continue pushing through.
Thank you.
So Tendrick, to sort of fill you in on what's been going on. After the aliens disappeared, Hayes sat down, did some meditating, and communicated with the planet or something, and has a sense of where Yane happens to be. And there's also some hunters in the area that are also in that direction, and that's where you guys are basically proceeding towards. The only light you guys have are the lights that you have on you. It is very dark, and you hear the sounds of these animals and such all around you. And actually, with that splash and the sound of Glalt basically struggling in the water there, you're hearing other things sort of like splash into the water beyond the vision of your light. So, and also something has taken the ship, apparently. To where? But according to Leith, the ship was being moved by some outside force. So, are you set up to roll yet, my friend Tendrick? Or no?
Yeah, I'm good to go. You need a strength check from me too, don't
Yeah,
you?
if you would please, yes, sir.
A fat 7. He's only got 2 dice in it.
Okay. You are having it, you're not stuck, but you are having a hard time of it getting across this water. It's at this point, it'll probably take you about, in about half an hour, you guys are going to be out in the middle of this water. It's not very deep. It stays fairly shallow. It's probably at this point maybe chest deep to you guys, maybe a bit above waist deep for Glalt. But yeah, the going is not getting any better.
Well, stubborn Hayes is just going to trudge through. We're already halfway through. There's no reason arguing with it. He's keeping his mechanical hand above his head, just to keep it clean.
Okay. Yes, to Glalt's. Yes, you may do that.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and because I noticed Tendrick is struggling a bit too. I'm gonna go ahead and use enhance attributes on Tendrick
Okay.
and give him
So-
1d plus 1 in
So
strength.
make your roll there.
Control 3,
activate.
4, 5,
Actually, and that
6,
the
7.
control will be for you.
Mhm.
If you're doing it to yourself, if you're doing it to someone else, it's alter.
It's alter. Thank you.
Yes.
That's 4 dice.
Yes.
Eh. Still one of my better skills. Wild die or no?
Yes. Always a wild die.
That one explodes?
Yes, it does.
13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24, 30.
All right. You actually are able, Tendrick, as she gives that to you, or as Galt does this, and you feel the force flowing into you, you actually get 3 dice to add to your strength.
Would you like me to re-roll strength then?
Yeah, you know, if you want to re-roll that strength check, yep, with that flowing into you, yes.
$16.
All right. You with that added strength, you're actually doing a lot better move, and you're on. You know, it's not nearly as hard of a slog for you. Anybody else want to try anything? Okay. So as you guys are pushing forward, Tendrick is going to begin sort of to outpace you guys because of the higher strength in general. But it takes you almost an hour and a half to get across this body of water, which was maybe 120 meters across. Just because it is so difficult to slog through that mud layer. Several times you've gotten stuck, and things had come near, sort of sniffing around to see what it was that you guys have had to shoo off or scare off. Or in some cases, if Hayes decides he wants to repeat his little trick with the force, they seem to actually like that. It's almost like feeding the fish. So
Enormous crocodilian,
yeah.
crocodilian type monstrosities.
Actually, do me a. Do you have any kind of knowledges of like planetary systems? Or
I have scholar.
Yeah, well, if you guys want to do planetary systems, if you have it, or scholar, either one would work for this.
Would survival work or no?
Yeah, survival
22.
will also work. These are
survival would also work. Oh, I've got one more die. Never mind. Keep going.
That's fine. So, like, to get their rolls in here real quick.
$19.
Okay. Well. All right. All right. This thing is actually a fairly well-known amphibian, believe it or not. That seemed to be pretty ubiquitous. I put the name of it in the chat there. It's called a Kurtag. And they are amphibians that are quadrupedal and can get up to about 6 to 8 meters long. And they swallow their prey whole. So maybe the foreshadowing there. So as you guys come up on the bank, finally,
it's okay, Keith. If you try swallowing Hayes, we're just even.
Thinking about it. Touch wood. I was thinking about it.
Sorry, keep going.
Leech-
I'm sorry.
Leech is not a giant grouper.
Right. This channel has a thing for giant things trying to swallow player characters. That is true. That's fine.
That is true. So you guys were able to actually
Pretty sure
pull yourself up on the shore of this thing, and it is goes without saying that you guys are exhausted almost from that slog. That much of your calves are on fire. It just feels absolutely horrible. So if everyone please let me a perception roll real quick.
Straight perception?
Perception.
Can I use investigation?
Not yet. This is just sort of see if you actually notice this thing. So
15.
Hey.
25.
All right. Okay. So
26.
Okay, so you guys all rolled hella high enough. So
right
as you wade out of the
Nice
swamp,
one, Haish.
if it is possible for the sky to be feeling darker, it is. until you start seeing the little occasional telltale flickers of lightning way up there. And it begins to rain. As you pull yourself up on this bank, you actually see ahead of you, sprawled out over a fallen tree trunk, a body. A lizard-like alien slumped over this tree trunk with a blaster rifle lying next to it.
Is it wearing clothes?
Yes, it's actually wearing a fairly generic flight suit that an average, most spacers wear, or at least a version thereof. The kind of thing that if your ship happened to lose pressure, you would be able to keep yourself from dying from exposure.
Hey, she's gonna crouch and kind of like slither over to it.
Okay.
Walt is going
Isn't
to go
it-
up
he-
to it as well.
He's in the ship suit.
Yeah,
Kendrick has one of those.
Yeah. As you get near it, it doesn't move at all. And as you come up over the rise a little bit above where this thing is, beyond this, you realize that the island you're on is very small, with a few large trees sticking up out of it. And there is another pool beyond, not as big as the one you just crossed, but is definitely one there. It seems to be a little more stagnant. It's basically covered with a green scum. And you see you see another body floating in that, face down, humanoid in shape. And because, especially the two of Haish and Galt, because of your higher rolls, you notice probably a few meters from this body, a boot floating by itself in an area that's discolored. It's like there was another color in that green, possibly red.
There's nothing I can do to help these guys as they're full dead.
They're very much dead.
Is it you said it's a reptilian type alien. Is it Trandoshan or?
Well, you'll have to actually do a little investigation. So investigation at this point would be appropriate.
You got alien species for a knowledge. Does that work?
Okay, that would also work. Yes.
9.
Okay. Yeah, specifically alien species is definitely one that you'll have here. So. Okay.
Okay, I just looked it up. Yes, Trandoshan is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, Transdoshan is what you're thinking of.
Well, that
Okay.
I wanted to check and see if that's actually the word. If it is
that
or
is one of
not
the-
is up to you. But
That
that's
is
the word I was-
that is one of the alien species that is known to exist in Star Wars. Yes.
yes, okay,
29.
All right. So I'll first tell
Nice.
Haish, with your cursory look at this thing, you can't tell what species it is. You think maybe the word Transdoshan does come to mind, but it's not quite right. It's a lizard-like species, and the suit, as you get a look at it, it definitely looks like the kinds of suits that, it's you've seen people wearing these kinds of suits that have been associated with rebels, but then again, the rebels don't have a uniform per se.
Mhm.
So, but it's the kind of thing they might actually have. Tendrick, as Haish rolls this being over, it's about 2.5 meters tall. So you're talking about a thing that's probably 7.5, almost 8 feet tall, and you recognize it as a species called a Barabel.
Barabel.
Yes. You guys are both able to see. You see, it's got slitted eyes are open and wide in what looks to be a horrific or a horror-filled expression. Its lips are actually drawn back from its like needle-like teeth. This thing looks like it'd be vicious as hell. Now because you rolled high enough, Tendrick, you actually recall a sort of a thing about barbells specifically, that you don't shoot barbells and blasters because it just pisses them off. You don't see any sign, and go ahead and do your med scanner if you want to there, Tendrick, because you don't see any visible signs of anything outwardly that would have killed this thing, except for some old scar tissue on its chest. It's definitely has some green algae on its legs. So. Okay.
$18.
Okay, yeah, this thing, the med scanner tells you that this thing apparently was perfectly healthy, that it died of a brain aneurysm. But it was not anything outward that caused this death.
Okay. As an aside, I know nothing about this. Are
Uh-huh.
barbells usually rare or are they kind of a common species?
They're not super common because the Empire considers them to be a quote unquote dangerous species. So especially in imperial areas, they're pretty much if they're not shot on sight, they're arrested and locked up. In Hut space, they are very, very highly prized as pit fighters.
Right. And I'm assuming
So-
they're usually not given into fear
No, they are
based on based on how they look.
they are renowned hunters, and you know that they are generally fearless and very independent. They're very cunning, though calling them they're intelligent, mind you, but
Mhm.
calling them like very they're not very cerebral in their thinking. They're much more cunning in the way that they think.
Predatory.
And they're very predatory, and they have even been known to see other sentient species as a source of food. So, but yeah.
With that, Kendrick would kind of look at this confused look on his face.
Mhm.
What the hell scared a Barabel enough that it gave him an aneurysm?
Something we should
Like
probably
and
be
like
careful of.
he'll show like the medical scanner thing to him and like
Yeah, it shows.
So-
Yeah, that it shows the brain and where the aneurysm occurred. Yeah.
That should be something we should be absolutely terrified of and go the other way, most likely.
You two can.
You're right, we could, but our loyalty is more to you. So
And my loyalty is to our mother. So, gentlemen, quick march.
Okay.
And just
Um,
back on the road, Haste goes.
You
Haste
notice
should be an
as
excellent
well-
soldier in another life. An
Well, as-
excellent
yeah.
soldier.
as you stand up, you notice that across that sort of ponding area that the other body is floating in, there's a crashed ship.
yeah, definitely check it out.
It
Uh,
looks like it's a
Haste.
small ship.
Oh.
But-
Cool. Where exactly are we in relationship to it?
You're on the look a little island, and it is across a span that's probably 6 meters wide of this fetid green slimed water where the body is floating, and it's on the other side of that. And you don't really see any way to get around it except going through water or jumping.
Does
course, it's
Haish have an
6 meters.
idea that this is the ship that we're looking for?
This ship is not the place the transponder code is coming from.
It's not. All right.
No.
Tindrick, do you want a few minutes to see what we can salvage from this wreck?
yeah, Tindrick will actually look up first off, if it's possible to do it within just a couple of seconds, he will take the blaster and anything else of
Oh yeah, yeah. You're
good use off the body.
Yeah, the things he has on the body that are useful. There is a blaster rifle. It's a pretty standard, like a hunting rifle. He does have a vibro blade, and of all things, 3 grenades.
Grenades might come in handy.
Yeah, those are not normal hunters.
No, that is not something you're going to find in someone just hunting game.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the rifle is though. So
The
those are
vibro
for
braid's
hunting
nice though.
people.
Yeah, with that, Kendrick, well, yeah, he'll make a beeline for the ship.
okay. All right. Make me a strength check as you go through the water. This water is about a meter deep. So it's about 3 feet deep. Is anybody else going across the water with them, or is it just him?
I'll go.
Haish
Okay.
is going to pick his way around it.
Okay.
17.
Okay.
'Cause I
Um,
still get the third die from Galt, right?
Yeah, you should get the die from Galt. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Hayes, you can't find any way around it, but there is a narrowing at one point where you might be able to jump.
We'll do that then.
Okay. All right. So you make me I think it's a strength check for jumping.
Uh,
Okay.
Before he
Well-
makes the roll, may I boost Haish as well?
Yeah, you can.
Go for it.
Haish, you cool with that, man?
I'm fine with that.
All right, need to roll alter.
Mike, I did pass the predator rifle off to you before we before we left the ship.
11, 26.
All right.
Perfect.
You're able to add 2 dice. Actually, 2 dice and a 2 dice plus 1 to your strength. So,
23.
you're able to clear this about 2-meter gap. But
I do it gracefully.
yeah, you do. You land in an area that's sort of muddy, so you had to sort of scramble up the bank a little bit, and then it was very graceful until the very end, basically. But that's
He
That's the
stuck
planet,
it
not
too
you.
hard into the
Yeah.
mud, is what
Right.
happened.
and some of the mud falls into the water behind you. Tendrick, as you're going across the water in Galt, go ahead and make me strength check. Oh, you already did yours. Galt, maybe your strength check going across the water.
Oh, my turn to boost myself because I am
Yeah.
not going into this
Now,
without.
this would be this would be control for you because it is an internal test.
So 7 dice now for me.
Yeah.
Okay, let me add all this up. Give me a minute, guys.
Okay. All right.
It's 10, 20, 30. Now the bonus die. 34.
Yeah, you had that. You had 3 dice to your strength. So basically, you're getting 1 die for every 10, and then if you go over 5, you get a plus 1 pip, basically. So, all right.
Now the strength check, you
Now
said?
the strength check.
And I roll like crap on that.
That's okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Okay.
6, 7, 8, plus 6. So 14 total.
Okay. You're able to slog your way through, not quite as well as Tendrick, but pretty close. Let's see. Smaller. Okay. Tendrick, I need you to make me a sense check.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay.
Twenty.
All right. You are going to be able to sense this thing coming, but you suddenly see an arrow of water lunging towards you. So you're able to basically make a dodge check if you want to. So,
Yeah, we'll probably do that.
okay.
I think I up dodge a little bit.
And remember, if any stat is boosted by enhanced ability, those dice are also added to skills under that attribute.
Oh, that's slick.
26.
All right, you're able to lunge and pull yourself out of the mud at the last second as this thing comes, and then these little teeth slam on the water where you just were. And it shoots through the water, disturbing the one body, which rolls over, and you see that it's obviously human at this point, but it's also covered in giant leeches that are pulsing sickeningly. And the boot actually sinks under the ground, or sorry, under the water. If you're able to, with that lunge, get yourself out of the water. Galt is taking a little more time, though I'm pretty sure Galt is now hurrying more.
Understatement.
Okay.
I am marching my Wookiee cousin butt as fast as I can.
Yeah, if
It is-
Galt would want to spend a character point to add additional die to that strength roll, it'll be a good time if you have any.
I
Mhm.
don't.
Actually, you do. You have some from last session.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, how many did we get last session? I think it was 10, wasn't
We
it?
got 10, yes.
Nope, I'm good. I could just
Okay.
hurry myself.
Okay.
Does this look like another barbell? It looks like something else.
This is something else. This looks like one of those Kurtags that you saw earlier.
Oh,
So
I got a stick. I can whack it if it comes close.
okay, well, you're able to struggle your way up on the other side there and up to this old ship. It's an old scout ship. Once you actually get there and look at it, looks like let me see here. It doesn't look like it's in very good shape. Like it's probably been here for a while. As you do a quick look over it, I'm not even going to make you even make a roll about this because your character is well versed in equipment and such. This thing's probably been sitting here for about at least 2 decades, maybe a little longer. So you would put this thing as having crashed here sometime toward the end of the Clone Wars, probably. The airlock is closed, so it's obviously that it wasn't. It was whoever landed in it or crashed in it survived the crash. Oh, this ship will never fly again. And because it's been sitting here in this swamp for 2 decades, it's the environment has done a number on it.
Indrick's toxic trait is he thinks he can get it going again.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. But you're actually able to maybe go ahead, make me a what would it be? Be under your mechanical. So you have starship repair, right?
I do.
Make a roll for that. We'll see if you can figure out anything useful in there is there for it.
All right. Can I take an extra moment or two and do concentration or intuitive check tech with it?
Yeah, you can. You definitely can.
All right, I got 16 on my control to do
Okay.
intuitive tech.
You're able to activate it. I think it gives you what, a +2 to your any of your mechanical skills.
I think it was a +2 to any mechanical or technical stuff.
Yeah, +2 dice. Yeah.
And then let's see, starship repair. $26.
Okay. You're able to. Well, first off, you're able to get the hatch open, which was not easy to do. This thing that has no power in it, so you had to find the manual release and crank it open. When you get inside and take a look around it, this thing is it's a scout ship that's basically designed for maybe 2 people. It's got a very small compartment behind the seats where they would have like basic supplies for survival and stuff, and there's not a lot in there. There's the remains of a couple of old ration packs from the old Republic.
Vintage.
Yeah, vintage. But it looks like whatever was there has been definitely taken out. So someone survived the crash. There's no bodies in here. You are able to extract the memory core though, although it's not powered up. You could probably get some information off of it if you were able to plug it into a computer system. So it definitely is that's salvageable, and maybe a few little. You think if you could probably work on this thing for a while, you could probably get some more interesting, useful stuff out of it, but not a lot.
And
maybe
not
some,
on the time crunch we're on anyway.
maybe some control consoles, stuff like that, but yeah, not the just looking at it, you can tell that there's branches and stuff growing to the bottom of the hole. From where this thing's been sitting at, and you're probably pretty sure that the hyperdrive is probably eaten away. As you're going through that, what are the other 2 you guys doing? Well, he's doing his thing.
Haish is standing on top of the ship if he can
Okay.
find a place that is a bit of a perch.
Oh yeah.
And he is with that vantage point, basically, being the blind sentry that he is, and trying to keep his senses peeled for life disturbances, kind of like one ear in the direction of their mother's transponder and just
Okay.
connecting.
Okay. As you're standing there and gazing around, actually, Glut, what are you doing while he's doing that?
Walt is trying to make sure that nothing is going to jump our backs from that water. He doesn't trust it.
So you're keeping your eye on the water. Okay. As you're looking out over this, so hey, she's looking out over this swamp. From your vantage point, you're actually above the brush that you guys have been struggling through quite a bit. You see this place is the trees are, it's almost majestic. It's almost cathedral like in your eye of seeing it through the forest. You see off in the distance what might be ruins. It's hard to say exactly. It's either ruins or an escarpment. From your distance, it's hard to say exactly how far, what it is there. But it juts up out of the swamp.
Could
You
that
think-
possibly be the location of the malevolence that has been accosting us?
You don't get the sense that's where it's at.
No.
This is more beyond that is where your mother may be. As you're looking about and as you're hearing Tendrick doing his thing, you hear a very loud crashing noise from somewhere off in the swamp, as if something very large either fell or got pushed over, like a tree or an old log or whatever. And you hear something stomping through the swamp. The Glut sees that not too far beyond where you are, a disturbance in the water, as whatever it was also stalking you, takes off. And you guys see the V-shaped disturbances in the water as these predators flee from that area as you're hearing these noises. And then you hear a roar.
Is it similar to the roar of the Rancor that we dealt with
Actually,
on
Yeah, it is
Zelos?
very, very similar to it, actually.
I know Rancors can
Um,
be found on dozens of planets,
yeah.
so
And you see specifically off in the distance what passes for the bird analog here.
mhm.
You see a big flock of them flap noisily in the sky as you see a tree begin to shake. Probably maybe 50, 60 meters away.
Tindruk, dear brother,
Aye.
hurry up.
All right.
Just pull whatever you can that is easy and put it in your backpack. We will analyze it later.
You actually see Glut as you're looking down, as you feel the thuds of whatever this is, Rancor sounding possible thing, hitting the ground. You're seeing the water itself begin to ripple with the impact as this thing is getting closer, and the pace seems to be picking up, as if maybe this thing has went from being a stalk to maybe a charge.
Guys, it's charging us. It's not stalking us. It's charging us.
Haish is gonna jump down from where he's
Is
at,
there-
probably down into the grass with a hide. Ooh,
Between the crash and nature taking its course, has there been another exit carved out of this thing?
Not that you can fit through. There's little small holes and such where on the bottom where it's been corroded away. You might be able to bust through it or cut through it pretty quickly, but not just crawl through it. So
Uh, all right. What's Glut? Whoa. All right. Hayes went to hide. What's Glut doing?
I don't think hiding's gonna help us too much, so he's going to hide as well. Actually, he's not gonna screw up the group on this one. He's gonna
Okay.
hide.
okay.
There was tall grass nearby. Haish just picked a spot,
There's
jumped down
undergrowth.
and vanished into it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play stupid. I'm gonna play smart and do a hide. I'm a healer, not a fighter. Screw this.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna jump into the nearest thing, which is the water for me, unfortunately.
Okay.
Tindrick's actually going to shut the airlock,
Okay.
and then I'm actually going to take the laser cutter / welder I have, and I'll carve a doorway out the back.
All right. So in that case, the one who's going to be the easiest there to see it is going to be Haish.
Really,
So-
the easiest one to see
Yeah,
with a
you're the
26 hide
well, no,
when
no,
someone
to
got
see
a
it.
22.
To see it.
see
Oh,
it. You are the
oh,
best
oh,
vantage
oh,
point to
oh,
see it as it's coming
Excuse
in.
me.
So
I am not going to get swallowed in this campaign, Keith.
All the words there, Hayes. All the words.
I'm sorry. Continue, Keith. I'm just crowing over here. I'm going to shut up now.
that's okay. So I did send you something in the chat though, sir. They said
All
this
right,
that the
see
crashes
what
and
it
roars are
says.
continuing and as they grow closer. They said the very ground itself shakes. You see the huge beast about 5 meters tall smashing the tree out of its way as if it's a twig, as it lurches into the water of the that you guys had just passed through not long ago. Doesn't seem to have any problems whatsoever slogging its way through it. Its eyes have a sinister, almost glow to it, and you see its nose twitching as if it's caught a scent. Okay. Okay.
My wild die, I'm going to have to put that
Yeah.
aside because that exploded several times for me. He says it's got a snout that is smelling for things.
Yes, its nose is twitching in its face as it's obviously caught the scent of something it likes.
Oh,
So
interesting.
you actually gloat since you're in the water, you actually feel the water being displaced by this thing. Although you can't see it directly from where you're at, neither can Tindrick because he's inside the ship. What are you using to cut your way through the whole of the ship there, Tindrick?
I actually have one of like the fancy schmancy
Mhm.
fusion cutter /
Okay.
welders.
So you're gonna fire your fusion cutter up? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Do it like butter.
Okay. Yeah. So you start cutting through that. Haish, you see this thing as you can hear this fusion cutter cutting through the hull of the ship beneath you. You see this thing stop and look directly toward the ship.
How
And then it
close
starts
is
moving.
it is to me? How like
At this point, it's probably about 100 meters away. It's in the middle of the water. That was 150 meters across.
is
So-
it actually a rancor? Is it
It looks like an
bipedal?
actual Rancor. Yes.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
I personally, as a player, actually like the monster design of the rancor.
Oh, I
but-
do too. It's one of the most beautiful monsters there are.
Well done, very well done, George Lucas. So it was, from what I understand from my theater of the mind,
Mhm.
it saw or thought it saw me, and it either it sensed me, it was going after me. Tindrick started making noise with the fusion cutter, and it kind of just looked over that way, all creepy like. Is that from what I'm understanding?
It does seem like the noise of his of his cutting through the hull may have drawn its attention.
Okay.
So
Haish is going to be slightly less protective of a vicious older brother. Let it try doing something, because I want this thing in my life right now.
Okay.
Put one of your claws on my little brother, I dare you.
okay,
I will fucking cut you.
it starts moving through the water towards you guys, and Tindrick, you could actually feel this thing, the impacts of this thing's feet now through the hull of the ship. You're able to get a good sized hole cut through pretty quickly. Glault, you're feeling this thud under the water as you're attempting to hold your breath there. There'll be a strength or stamina check, by the way, to see how long you can actually do that. As this thing comes up over that little island you just passed through, it reaches down and picks up the barbell corpse, sniffs it, turns its face upwards and actually stuffs this thing into its maw and begins basically crunching it down and sucking it down.
Question,
Can I put in a thing right here?
Mhm.
Quick like links, hang on. I am going to use my projective telepathy to tell Tindrick to just quiet down and just
Okay.
whatever you're doing, stop.
Okay. I won't make you guys make a roll. You guys, we'll just say
Are-
you used it.
Are,
So
are we
Uh.
are we assuming that where he and I are pretty connected where we
Oh.
don't have to make rolls for it?
yeah, I'll just say that.
Okay.
Unless you are directly being attacked and having to defend yourself,
Okay.
you
well,
guys, I
that's-
think all
that's
three of you
perfect.
guys are capable of basically communicating at this point via the force if you want to.
Beautiful. Yeah, then that's exactly what I'll say.
Okay.
Links, please continue. I'm sorry
No
to cut you
problem.
off.
hey, no problem. That was a good call. Has it passed me yet?
Go from the water or through the film of whatever of the green algae above you, which now is, by the way, all over your fur of your head. It looms like a huge shadow on the island where the Barabel body was. And this thing is you can see the motions that you would know would probably be it's eating something.
You guys cut off there for a second. Was that a yay or nay?
Yeah, you can see its shadow through the water, the scum.
Okay, in that case, I'm gonna pop up and kneecap it with my stick.
Okay. All right.
Attaboy.
Make me a melee with that stick. Are you going to add anything to that?
Melee weapon staff plus the strength bonus I have, so that's another 3 dice. So that's 6 dice to
Yep.
hit it with the stick.
All right. So you jump up, make your attack. He doesn't know you're there, so
I've got something thematic and cool for you, Keith, when he's done with that.
okay.
7, 8, 9, 10. 26.
Okay. All right. Your blow lands. Make me roll me your damage for that.
Oh, yeah, I have to roll damage. I forgot that
Mhm.
exists. You actually
How-
never gave me the damage on it.
Oh,
It is strength plus 2d, I believe, for that staff.
All right. Thank you.
okay.
Go
How
ahead.
large is how immense is this rancor? I understand that they get pretty damn big.
This thing stands about 6 meters tall, so that's about 18 feet, just shy of 20 feet tall.
Oh, okay, so it's as big
It
as
is-
a goddamn house.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is big enough that it is stuffing a 2.5 meter tall Barabel into its maw and swallowing it down basically whole.
Okay. It's gonna be
So-
real hard to miss then.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to miss. Very hard to miss.
And
20.
I understand them not to be very intelligent and not to be very well armored creatures either.
32 damage because my strength is up so much with an additional 2 die.
Nice.
All right. So
Well done, Glalt.
your staff hits this thing square in the lower leg, making a very loud and very satisfying thunk. Actually, the point where this thing actually sort of bends a little bit, but you know, you've had this thing long enough, you know this wood is very, very durable. This thing looks down at you as it's literally, you see like the lower legs of this Barabel hanging out of its mouth as its little eyes look and its nose twitches. And then it basically makes one last sort of lunge with its head and sucks those feet down and then screams at you.
Oh, Seth.
It's armor check, which is because its natural armor is its strength plus 3 dice. Was a 55. You literally didn't hurt it.
Here I was thinking it was going to be one of those epic
So-
predator moments, raising up and whack.
At this point, who has the highest dexterity?
That
As we
maybe
go into
Haish.
combat, who has the highest dexterity?
I got
I
3.
got 3 dice.
3.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
let Tinder go first.
In that case, what is your each person's perception will be the second for the
3.
three of you. Okay,
Oh, Tinder goes first then.
4.
4.
Walk goes
Okay,
first.
so Glalt will go first, but the Rancor actually goes before you, Glalt.
Come on.
Oh! Oh!
Oh, we might have a TPK, ladies and gentlemen.
Ah,
All right,
shit,
so-
all right.
The Rancor reaches down for you, so you can make me a dodge check
Yes,
as
please.
it's going to try to grab you.
I don't have dodge.
Then you
What?
use your
It's
dexterity.
Dexterity.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No, no,
we
no,
need
no,
Glalt.
no.
Please don't die. God damn it.
4.
Or
Is that, did you say 4 on your dodge?
With the bonus die.
Ah,
all right. So you go to dodge, and this thing very deftly just grabs you and lifts you out of the water. You can make a strength check if you'd like to try to struggle free.
Please.
Yeah, go for it. You might get lucky.
Come on, dice. Bastards. 5.
Drop out your dice. They belong
Okay.
in jail.
Re-roll those because I don't believe you got all ones twice in a row.
That wasn't all ones.
Oh,
That was
You're-
2s this time.
but
2s
yeah,
and a 1.
remember you have 5 dice to roll.
Oh, I didn't roll the extras.
Yeah,
Thank
because
you.
you still have the force.
Okay. In that case, I got 1, 6, 4, 6, 2. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19. Thank God.
There we go. Much better.
Well, you are not getting away, although you made a valiant effort as this thing begins to lift you from the ground. Now, Glalt, you are, I think you go first perception wise, right? What are you going to do?
Affect mind.
Okay.
nice.
I guarantee you it does not have a better mind than me. It's an animal.
Okay. So what? Are you going to try to contact its mind and do what?
I am not edible.
Okay,
I am
you're
not
gonna-
food.
So you're going to try to push the idea of not food into its mind.
This is not the whippet you're trying to eat.
Okay.
Yes.
Then that make the roll for that. You know what the skills are that govern that.
Yep. C, S, and A. Control, sense, and alter.
All right. So you roll all 3 sets of dice and divide
8,
your total
9,
by
10.
3.
11, 12,
Oh,
13,
I
14
looked it up.
dice.
And looked it up. You
Well
roll 14
done.
dice and divide by 3.
Gonna take me a minute, guys.
Okay.
I'm getting a calculator.
Okay.
Yep. And over in the Tules, Haish is a little bit panicking. A little bit.
43 divided by 3, 14. Oh, plus 2, so
Okay.
16.
All right. All right. I'm going to send you a message real quick.
The Rancor
do.
has a brain aneurysm. We wish. We wish.
We wish.
Right, Keith? He does, doesn't he?
I'm waiting to see this message.
No.
Oh, damn it.
No,
All right,
that
fine.
no sounds bad.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Well, are we all that surprised if Galal gets eaten? My characters have a bad habit of that.
Okay.
I'm gonna be so mad if he does. Oh,
Oh, what the fuck?
Okay.
no spoilers.
Okay. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
All right. So next would be I think would be Tendrick or Haish next. Which one of you guys wants to go next?
Tindrick goes next.
Okay.
Higher perception.
So yeah, so you're able to actually wiggle out of this hole you cut. You see Glalt being lifted in the air, but it's Rancor.
Okay. God damn. I'm behind the ship now, right? Like looking over it.
Yeah, you can
I
see
can
over
see it.
the ship. Yes.
Okay. Is this stable enough to put the bipod down?
Oh yeah.
Like flat enough?
Oh yeah.
All right, good. Executor rifle.
Okay.
And I think the bipod gives me like another D to
Okay.
aiming. And yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
So what do I see? He just has it in his
You-
hand, or he actually has it in
You
his
see,
mouth?
what you see is it reached down and apparently, but it's sort of hunched over at the moment. It's literally currently at the moment lifting Galt up out of the water. Galt is struggling, and it's lifting Galt toward its face,
Okay.
like it's about to start to bite.
Does it have any weak points that I can see?
Its hide looks pretty thick all over. I mean, maybe the nose or the eyes, but the eyes are tiny. The mouth isn't very well, relatively to the size. The mouth is probably is wide enough to fit Galt into, so maybe there.
Let's see. I got that. Got that. Oh, I'm rolling a lot of dice for this. Okay. Yeah, I actually just try to shoot it in the mouth. It's a
Okay.
big enough target.
All right. So it just raises the difficulty slightly.
10 dice. I better be able to hit it.
Yeah.
$43.
All right. You definitely hit it. So roll the blaster's damage and add 4 dice to it because of your roll.
I'm gonna roll more dice for damage than I did just to shoot the damn thing.
So blasters can be really badass things.
Well, it's also the executor one. It's a 7 die base.
Yeah, it's a big ass. It's a weapon designed to take things down like this.
All right, hold on, give me a second here. $630. 45.
All right, you hit this thing square in the mouth, and you definitely see the bolt light up the inside of the maw. And you see the carbonization of flesh as this thing roars in pain and lurches backwards with the blow. Galt, make me another strength check real quick.
And Tindrick will go into concentration and aim.
Okay.
He won't be able to shoot again this round, but next
Yeah.
round.
Okay. You're able to, as this thing sort of reacts to the blast in your hand, its claw relaxes. You're able to basically push one of the claws out of the way and actually fall out of this thing's hand at the edge of the water. H, you're up, sir. What are you gonna do, sir?
Something about this actually kind of dawned on me in the middle of this fight.
Mhm.
Actually, towards the beginning of this fight.
Mhm.
Haish is actually gonna kind of mutter under his breath,
Mhm.
"You're not real, damn you." And just like he's gonna try and pierce the veil then, and
Okay.
with this thing, because we know that this planet can create constructs and images in the force. And we also know that this entity, this malevolence, seemingly could possibly also possess the flora and fauna.
Mhm.
So what would that be, like a sense life, sense force,
Well,
life detection?
It'd be a control, because that would be, I mean, unless you're trying to find out, is this thing real? If you're reaching out to sense it to see if it's real, or are you trying to see if your own mind is being affected by something? Depends on what you're wanting to do.
Well, Haitian's pretty well hidden for now. He's going to try and uh well, he's going to actually need to find out both here in a matter of seconds. First, he's going to see if his own mind is actually being influenced in some ways.
Okay.
What is that?
That would be a
test?
control. Yeah, control test.
Oh, beautiful. That is a 26.
Your mind is being controlled a little bit. You do sense that there is something laying over your perceptions. What you actually perceive, though, is it's not that the Rancor is not there.
Not real.
It's real.
Right.
It's just that the image that is projected in your mind is that it's bigger than it actually is. This thing is only about 4 meters tall instead of the 6 that it appears to be.
So, using Haitia's academics, there's a very young Rancor. His
Fairly
skin
young
is
one,
not
yeah.
near as thick as it should be.
Yeah, and this thing looks like it's really. And well, the shot that Tendrick fired, he was aiming towards the mouth of this thing. Of course, it was leaning over. You can actually see the scoring across the top of this thing's head where it took a glancing blow from that. But it definitely staggered it.
Right. Then Hayes is basically going to say, "Oh, you poor beast." Now he is realizing that it's actually not this animal's fault is what's going on here. It's in fact being manipulated.
Maybe that academics test real quick, because you actually may have come in contact with what's going on here at one point through your holocron.
Is that scholar or investigate? No, I'm going to use scholar instead.
Be scholar, yeah.
Oh, I like this roll. Holy crap. Hang on here. Do this properly. That is another 26.
All right. With that roll, you recall from readings or in that holocron, the teachings there, of a sect of force users that the Jedi had come in contact with called the Witches of Dathomir. And they were well known for using Rancors as mounts. And they would somehow use their force powers to project their minds into the Rancors and literally puppet the Rancors as if they were their bodies. And considering the thing that you have encountered here, that apparition, probably a force user, it could literally, that could be what's going on here.
Hayes is a really interesting character to play because he's not a Jedi. He's not.
Right.
So I know exactly what the Jedi thing to do is and what the mystic thing to do is.
Right.
A Jedi in this situation would try and more than likely try and fight over the beast's mind with this witch. Hayes is actually going to attempt to do actually a mercy killing.
Okay. So with that information flashing through your mind, what, sir, are you going to do as far as an action at this point?
From where I'm at, I'm assuming this is probably several dozen meters away.
Yeah, it's quite. There's about 6 meters of water between you and it, plus maybe another 2 or 3 meters of bank. So I'm assuming you hid by the little scout ship.
Yeah, he would have stepped off and then vanished into the tall grass there.
Yeah, so you're probably 9, maybe 10 meters away total.
Okay. If Haste does kind of a short run and jump, kind of relying on his athleticism there, a run, a jump where he kind of like flying attacks and lands on this thing,
Mhm.
ignites his lightsaber halfway through the arc.
Mhm.
What would that require me to roll?
What you would have to do, and you think this might work this way, you've never actually seen it done, but you might be able to do it, is if you were to run towards this thing and use force push against the ground,
I would
it
catapult
along with the
myself.
jump, it might catapult you far enough to actually get a shot at this Rancor as you come down.
Can I do that and attack this thing with my lightsaber on
Yeah.
the landing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Then I'm going to do that. Thematically, that is what's going to happen. Mechanically, what do you want from me?
You will need to do a jump check, which would be a strength. But first, you would need to do a force push. So you need to
Okay.
use, I believe it's alter is the skill that makes that,
Right.
or is it? Yeah, it's just alter.
Yeah,
I think
it's
for the
alter
force
for
push.
me.
So yeah, so roll that first, and we'll see how many dice you get to add to your jump.
That is an 18 on my altar.
Okay. So you get to add 2 dice to your strength for jumping. And remember, you already been enhanced by Glow. This
How
thing.
many more dice is that?
That was, how many more did I was? I think it was, what was it, 3? I
You got
think, or
2
2
from Galalt.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah,
2,
2
yeah.
from Galalt.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
2 more dice from Glow.
Because Galalt gave himself 3 and Tindrick
Yeah.
1. So
Hot shit, damn lads. That is a 37 on my jump.
So you're able to launch yourself into the air like Jedi of old, clearing this 6 meters of water between you and this thing as you run forward. Coming down, the music swells as your lightsaber ignites halfway through, and make your attack, sir.
This is my binary sunset swell moment. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right. I'm using my light pike. Is it standard lightsaber damage?
Yeah, I would
4 die
just
plus
use
2?
Yeah, 4 die plus 2. Yes. And it happens to ignore armor though.
Oh. Just for the sake of the audience as well as the game master, Heish is actually going to try and if I have a 5.1 foot lightsaber blade,
Yeah.
if I can take off a limb
Mhm.
or bury it in this thing's neck and slide down, if I
Okay.
can.
Well,
That'll
what was your total damage that you got?
35.
All right. Okay, so if you would, sir, go ahead and do your explanation of how you kill this thing with your lightsaber.
So
This ignores, yeah. He only got a 14 on his resistance to that lightsaber because
wow. Okay, so this Rancor is coming, and he obviously picks up Glalt, and what we see is this enormous monstrosity about to get that ass with Glalt being some real hairy popcorn chicken, and he's about to and Tindrick takes the pot shot off. We see the light from the blaster bolt light up his mouth, and Heish, being the rabid, vicious older brother that he is, as well as a non-Jedi mystic, just to start off the combat, he thought, let this thing try and do something to my mates, because I want this thing in my life, in this palpable, there's a malevolence out there that is trying to accost me and my family, and I need to set an example. And now there may or may not be a witch in here that now Heish feels that he has to take it upon himself to be competitive, one mystic to another. And we know, ladies and gentlemen, that Heish is not a young man to back down. He's going to and beat that ass as he does. He he emerges from this tall grass, and he kind of like takes this, leans into that turn with a sharp turn, almost ignoring the mud there, and then with a running jump throws himself off of the ground, with willing himself to fly, and he ignites his yellow lightsaber, and he just lands in this thing's chest, smiting the thing in its shoulder. The blade extends through the shoulder, to fall with gravity. The thing staggers back. The arm falls into the mud. The neck is hanging off of a flap, and this thing topples, and Haysh is standing on its chest, just glaring down at this thing, with just bathed in, I'm assuming the daylight is kind of like the dying light of day, the dusk kind of bathing the area in this golden light.
Yeah.
Just standing there triumphant and just going, no.
The beast shudders and falls. Its eyes balefully looking towards towards Haysh as its head lolls to one side. It hits the ground. Its remaining claw tears at the earth, and its leg pumps and convulses of death throes. It lets out a loud bubbling wheeze from what was once its neck.
What's left of him.
As the black blood spurts, and it lies still. At which point it almost seems to melt. To the other two, to Glault and Tendrick, because Haysh already had seen this thing sort of melts down from this huge monstrosity over 6 meters tall to something just shy of 4. It's still a big beast, but obviously not nearly as big as you expected it to be. Glault, specifically, having contacted this mind through this beast, feels that mind hurled from him, and you sense more than hear a snarl of anger.
Can I try to reach back out to that mind?
You can.
And say, no, wait, I got questions. Come back.
Okay. Are you going to try to keep it here, or are you going to try to follow it?
Keep it here.
Okay. What are you going to use to do that?
You know what? I'm going to try the same thing again, but see if it works better. That's a sign of insanity. I know, but you never know till you try.
Okay. You going to add anything to that, to your roll?
Yeah.
What?
I have to think, what can I add though?
Well, you have character points you can add that will give you 1 additional die per character point, or you have a force point, which will allow you to double your number of dice.
Oh, I'm adding a force point.
Okay. So you will double your dice for that.
I don't have enough dice.
Well, then roll them twice.
Because that's 28 dice.
Yeah. Roll them twice.
Oh my God. Lynx.
What?
Well, remember,
Get a
she has to make the roll, then she divides it by 3.
Oh.
So
But still.
This is why I pick up sets of liar's dice.
Oh,
Right.
I know in that
25,
one
26.
thing.
Crap.
24,
Mhm.
28.
That's
I have just
24.
enough.
Yep, you have just enough. I think you have 24 in that little box. So
This is also why I like the game we had coming called Even Steven, because it comes with 24 D6s on its own, half of them colored, half of them white.
yeah.
Now to just use a giant calculator because this character needs it.
Yeah. Those are the best characters, though. I have a character that uses 47 dice. I
You
have
guys ever played Champions?
no,
It's
like
D10s.
like the Supers game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It uses D10s, but you use a lot of D10s.
Just out of curiosity, do I still have a bonus die to add to this?
Yeah.
Yes.
You do?
More dice.
That's 3 more.
Jesus.
Sorry, technically 6 more if you're going to double them.
Ah,
Good, because I have 6 dice right here,
Okay.
and I'm already at 100.
Nice.
Reroll 6s. All right, let me add these. +1, +5, +5, +3, +2. 6 + 6. 6 plus 2 plus 4. 140.
All right.
Nice.
I'm not even going to
Well
roll for this.
done.
You are able to.
So 46
so what
after
is
divided.
what is the command that you are sending out?
Stay. We have questions.
You feel this thing stop retreating, and it takes a moment, but then all three of you eventually see this sort of a shimmer in the air. It's not an actual image, but it's almost like the outline of an image, as if it's a heat wave. Think Predator, basically.
Oh, okay. I was thinking Mirage, but yes.
Yeah, basically think like the Predator image. You see this image there, and you feel that you all three feel this presence.
Haish looks up from the Rancor corpse.
Yeah, you
So-
see it.
This thing was controlling the Rancor. Any of you got questions for it?
How many are you?
Just myself. Yeah,
No.
Galt, you feel this thing squirming in your force grip, almost like a fish trying to wiggle out of your hands.
Oh yeah, no, I tightened down.
Okay.
Haish simply says no. To answer your question, no, I am not a Jedi.
You don't fight like you fight like one, but that lightsaber is odd.
If we want to talk about what is odd, we would be here all day.
You sort of more sense than see a nod.
We are not going to leave this planet until you and I have words. If I may request, give me back my ship. Allow us to meet with our companions here. We will negotiate what you need and what we need. And then we will be on our way.
I'll not
Are
stand
this-
in your way.
Will you-
Come to me at this location.
You force an image into my mind.
And you all see an image sort of almost appear before you. You sense now that Hayes that you sort of know what to expect from this. This is a force illusion being projected towards you, and you see a hummock in the middle of a pond, and it has this massive black tree.
Ah,
This tree does not look healthy.
healthy? No. Okay.
You all three get a very cold sense from this tree, not as if it's like a regular tree, but as if it's some massive creature sort of hunching over something, looming over you. It says, I can't control it, but I will not get in your way.
Can we have a formal truce until we have concluded here today?
You have my word as a Jedi Master.
Come on, Haish, don't. Oh, come on, man. Quit being a cock. Haish snarls at the J word. We'll come and see you shortly. I just turn and I go. I am done with this conversation and I'm going off to find Yane.
You
Tindrick,
hear-
any questions?
Even though Tindrick knows this thing isn't tangible, Haish and Galat will still see the red dot, probably go through it.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll be there shortly. And Galt, very unkindly, because he said Jedi, and he remembers what his last master did,
Mhm.
will shove it away. Not just let
Okay.
it go. He will just
Okay. The image, you feel the presence leave. You almost feel it almost like flee through the forest, as if it's like flitting between the trees and such. Well, you actually still have a odd feeling though. You didn't. You were able to force through whatever defenses this thing had with that massive roll, but now that it's gotten away, you feel almost dirty having touched it that intimately. It's like you have
Was it greasy and
gunk
oily like
in
the rest
your-
of the swamp?
Worse than the
as
swamp.
as I explained earlier, when H did his connection with it, it almost felt like you were reaching through a filthy pond to touch this thing, and the scum on that pond clings to you mentally.
Ugh.
So
And this is why Tindrick has refresher boots on the ship.
yeah, this would take a long refresher booth trip to get this thing done. It's that whole thing of like Lady Macbeth washing her hands, trying to get the blood off, but it won't come off. Yeah. So
I did that play.
okay. You guys are able to make your well, since Tendrick decided to wander off, you guys going to follow him? I'm assuming.
Tindrick never wandered off.
Haysh
That's right.
is
Haysh, not Tendrick.
leaving.
Haysh wandered off.
He didn't
Haysh wandered
wander
off.
off. He is going in the direction of the transponder. He's
Okay.
Uh,
done with this planet.
Tindrick will attempt to use his auto mapper and stuff if possible.
Okay. Well, you actually have on the auto mapper the location of the beacon that you guys have been following, and it's probably at this point about 2 kilometers away. You don't really have a good topographical map of the area. Just sort of like I'm assuming you probably have something similar to LiDAR. So you got a pretty good idea of where you're at here. At this point, the ground is actually starting to slope upwards. You guys are able to walk pretty quickly until you get to an escarpment. That this is the thing Hayes saw from a distance. It might be either like an upwelling of the earth, or it possibly could be an old ruin, to the point that it has become one with the swamp. But the ground is definitely drier here, and the air is just a little bit fresher too.
Mm.
Is the beacon coming from above us?
Yes,
And I'm
somewhere
walking
above
in
and
that
beyond
direction.
this. You guys will have to make maybe some climbing checks. So I believe it will be athletics or strength, I believe, to get up this thing.
I'm
So,
assuming our boost has wore off.
at this point, yeah, it would have worn off.
All right,
So,
Can I go ahead and reapply that?
please do actually.
if you want to, yeah.
You can.
Yes. That's kind of where I excel. And
We'll take the 15 seconds to get to take a breather.
Yeah. Take a quick breather
Oh,
real
yeah.
quick. The thing.
In this quiet moment here, I'm gonna use projective telepathy. If I can reach out to Yane from here, I will.
Okay. Make your roll, sir.
That is 23 for Heish.
Okay,
Oh,
so there'll be 2
excellent.
additional dice for you.
I'm gonna set this die aside, honestly. Kinda have to.
21 for Tindrick.
Another 2 dice for Tendrick.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, that is 41 for my projective telepathy.
Okay. Okay. You are able to, now, because of the fact that she's not force sensitive, you don't have the same 2-way communication that you would have, but you do get a sense of her.
Do I feel
And-
that she has received me?
You believe so. Whether or not she's actually going to be able to actually understand that it's actually you reaching out to her or not, you don't know. Her mind does feel troubled. So 38 will be 3 dice plus 1, by the way. But she does feel troubled and afraid. But that's really, I mean, What message are you sending to her?
I'm simply going to say, Mother, we're here. Where are you? We're at the bottom of the escarpment.
She unfortunately does not have the ability to send a message back,
That's fine. That's all
but you
she
do
needs.
feel
She just
you do
needs
feel
to be
that
directed.
she did get the message. Um, so but as far as the climbing does, did anybody get below a 14?
No, 22.
22.
Okay.
We
Well-
both got 22. Nice.
On your strength check, climb.
I could guarantee you this is not below a 22.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm
you're-
already
you're
looking
fine.
at 20 and I still have 2 dice to roll.
Okay, you're fine then.
Well done.
You guys are able to make your way up this escarpment to the area above. The difference in elevation definitely changes the landscape. There are trees up here, but the undergrowth is much less. It's much more open here. The ground is also much firmer. And thankfully, you don't see any bodies of water between you and anywhere ahead.
Oh, thank you.
You do see the transponder shows the ship transponder for that I call it the long strider, right? Or what I
Long
call the
runner.
ship- long runner. The transponder for the long runner is probably maybe 500 meters beyond where you're at. But what actually catches your eye almost immediately is the flicker of light.
The sun
It
has
looks,
gone down by then, right?
yeah,
Right, by now?
this is definitely dark. This looks more like the like a fire possibly, or the glow that you would get from like a one of the emergency heaters that a lot of ships carry for survival purposes. And as you guys walk towards this, you see a shadowy figure backlit by this light. It actually is framed in what looks to be a cave mouth, possibly in a hummock or a hillock, just not too far from you.
I'm gonna ignite my lightsaber.
Okay.
She knows exactly who it is then.
Yeah. As you do see the light of your lightsaber reveals Yane. She looks worse for wear. The fairly generic jumpsuit that she's wearing, a ship suit, looks, it's dirty. This is probably the filthiest you've seen her ever.
Oh,
Her face has a few more wrinkles. Her hair has a few more gray hairs in it than you recall, but it is definitely her face. And this look of fear you see melts away as she sees you. And she said, "I thought that was you, Haish."
do not
And
worry,
then
Mother.
her
I
eyes,
am real.
her eyes go from bright and with wonder and excitement to the liquid of tears as she begins to break down, and she actually hits her knee. It goes down to her knees and says, "I thought I was going to have to live my life out here." And with that, I would like to hear some closing soliloquies from the three of you guys.
No.
As it is almost 11:30. So we'll start out with Haish, since he was the one who ignited his lightsaber. What do we see in Haish's mind as he sees Yane standing there?
At this point, he'll see her go down to her knees, and once he actually has an image in his mind, at least, of the area, he'll I suppose extinguish his lightsaber, and he'll take a few steps forward and basically, like, he'll bring her to him in his arms, and he'll try and basically trying to comfort his own mom, and in doing so, he has visual contact. Now he has physical contact, and now he's going to try and, like, at least, try and connect with her mind. This is a very good illusion if it is, because he's touching it. But I suppose I'll roll for that when I'm done with this. And we see a relief go over him, and he calms, but there's still kind of like the porcupine quills of this better be real, and we better not be swindled in this, or Heish is going to grind this planet to dust. But it is an expression and a feeling of relief, but it is guarded relief, which she may or may not find to be, I mean, kind of a disingenuous hug, which is completely out of character for Heish. But I'll pass it off to one of our companions here.
So, Tendrick, what do we see in his mind at this moment?
Well, as soon as H would have lit his lightsaber and we saw something, there would have been a red light on Yane. It's honestly not until he actually sees H visibly relax that Tendrick will lower the rifle. Yes, this apparition, witch, master, whatever the fuck they think they are, claimed they weren't going to interfere, but he also said, I can't stop this thing from interfering. So Tendrick is still like, I don't know yet. Especially because Tendrick even got fooled by that damn Rancor being damn near twice the size he thought it was. But on the other side, Tendrick's happy because even if it's not actually Yane, he got to see Yane again, and he hasn't seen Mom in forever. But yeah, it's very much a protected joy and a he's waiting for the other shoe to drop and shit about to go down anyway type of ideal. So his head is unfortunately still going to be on a swivel until something comes to pass to actually relax him.
Which is kind of a disgusting feeling because that's our mom, and we should not be emotionally guarded with Mom.
Right.
And so, at least building off of Tendrick, for Heish, this is probably, if this is an illusion, may the gods forbid is fucking illusion, but if it is, this is the evilest fucking thing that Heish has ever encountered. But I'm gonna hush and Galal, brother, take it away.
Yes, Glalt. What we see in Glalt's mind is these brothers see their mother.
Gwalt actually feels a little bit of sadness because he feels really happy for them, but a little bit of sadness because he wants that. But at the same time, he knows it's a happy reunion, but he was also extremely impressed with the shot that Tendrick landed, not realizing how powerful a rifle was. So there's growing appreciation for what a man with a rifle can do. Slight fear of Heish, but one of the good fears, not, I'm terrified, but one of the, okay, I'm not going to fuck with them fears. For what he did with that lightsaber. And he's more thinking, I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to back these guys up, no matter what. And if that turns out to not be their mother, I will score this planet to its ashes, and I will destroy that witch's mind until it is dust and leave her gibbering.
Okay. So as the three of you are reunited with Yane, one of the things you notice with the thoughts running through your minds, specifically the thoughts that come to your mind of if this is an illusion, the things that you have thought about doing, you almost feel something sort of latch onto that. And you feel it sort of almost, it's not like words in your mind, but it's knowing that if you chose to do this, there is something that's offering help. It's offering you something that might be able to actually do that on a larger scale.
Interesting. Can I have the roll before we stop the session tonight to confirm this is or is not an illusion, Keith?
Do your sense roll, yes.
Thank
If you guys will do
you.
your sense rolls, go for it.
Please.
That would be.
I was half
a-
expecting to tell you no.
Oh,
That would be a cliffhanger too
Oh,
cruel
I
for
was
Keith.
tempted.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
you-
so mad. Oh, you're so mad.
I'll let you do
sense
it.
rolls,
Ah.
everybody.
Sierra.
Never been happier.
Ah. Ah.
19,
Oh yeah.
25.
Hang on. Hang the fuck on.
Okay.
37.
All right. Tendrick.
Heck yeah, Haish.
Don't do this to us, Keith.
We will burn this campaign to the
Don't you do it, Keith.
The sense you said, right?
Yes. Sense.
Oh gosh, are we about to go evil?
Don't you do it. Don't you
Damn.
do it, Keith.
18.
You're not that evil. As an aside, I know you're fucking that evil. Don't you?
Okay.
Mhm.
So I had 5 dice.
Uh-huh.
3 of my normal ones rolled 6s.
Okay.
My wild dice exploded 4 times.
Okay.
I got a 46.
Okay. You guys know without a shadow of a doubt that this figure before you is Yanni.
Oh my god, okay.
Okay.
So as we see the figures of the two brothers and basically going forward to their mother and Glalt standing back with a wistful look in his eye, the camera pans upwards above them and pulls back to a spot probably 300 meters away. It's a little rise and down to a figure lying next to a tree with a pair of macro binoculars to its eyes. We come down next to this and see this Rhodian as it raises a comlink to its face and clicks and says, "Sir, I found them. There's the woman we're looking for, and 3 others. They're on the dossier." And you hear through the comlink, "Stay there. We're on our way." As the curtains close. Thank you very much tonight for joining us, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks and see what happens next. May the force be with you all.
Force be with you.